So now we are going to create one single Docker image. So in with that, we can able to run the single image and we can able to run the whole application. So let's get started and create the Docker file. So for that, I'm just going to create a Docker file over here in this directory. So just you have to give the name Docker file. Okay. So I just I've done the mistake. Docker file. Okay. So now in the base image, so now the big question is, so which base image we have to use? So as you know that, so we use this command, and using this command we can able to run this image. Okay. So not this image or this Docker compose file, and we can able to access the application. But the main question is, so as you know that for running this application, we need Docker to be installed into our system, which means, so if you want to run this command like docker-compose, so we need the Docker. Okay. So that is the main question. So if there is Docker image available, so answer is yes. So let me show you. So luckily in the Docker registry, we have the Docker image over here. So if you want to run the Docker image inside the Docker file, so in our case, so as you know that we want to run this file. So where it is? Okay. So let me show you. So we want to run this file, and for running this file, we need the Docker. So hence we are going to use the Docker image over here. So for such scenario, they have created the image of the Docker. So if you want to run the Docker image inside the Docker file, so you have to just pull the Docker image. So in our case, we have to run this Docker compose file. So for that, we need the Docker image. So hence we are going to use here the Docker image. So we have to just use the Docker over here. Then I'm just setting the working directory over here, like my app. Okay. Then we are going to copy the file. But this time I'm just going to copy this compose.yaml file, because this is the file is responsible for running the application. So it's going to pull the front-end, backend, and the Mongo. So it's going to pull and run the images. So here we are going to copy this file only. So we have to just mention name over here, compose.yml, and I'm going to just paste in my working directory. So once you copy the file, then we are going to run this compose file. So for that, I'm just using same name. And here, as you know that for running this compose file, we need to use Docker compose. Okay. Then you have to just give a comma over here. So we have followed to this command. So then we are going to use up. Then you have to again give the comma over here. And then I'm just running this command in the daemon mode. And we are set all the things. Like first thing, we are just pulling the Docker image. Then we are set the working directory. And then we are going to copy this compose file in the working directory. So we are going to run this compose file using docker-compose up -d for detach mode. Okay. So we are going to save this file. So let's build this Docker file and push on the Docker hub. So I'm just going to open my terminal over here. Okay. And I'm just using docker build. Okay. And -team. So this is the Docker file. You have to notice that. So yes, I'm just using docker build. Then I'm just giving name over here, Rohit Marathe. Then I just mentioned my repository name. Okay, so I'm just using the same repository. And then you have to just give the space and use dot over here, because the Docker file is available in the current directory. And then you have to just press enter. So it's going to build the Docker image for us. So as you can see that our Docker file is built. So let's verify. So I'm just using Docker images. So as you can see that we have 3 files, but notice here, the second one is front end and the third one is back end. So we have recently built this Docker image, Rohit Marathe /todo-MERN with the tag of latest. So by default, if you don't give the tag and if you directly build the image, so it's by default give the tag as the latest. So one thing you have to be remember. So now what we are going to do, we are going to push this image to the Docker registry. So okay, so I'm just going to copy this image name and :latest, or either you can just leave it all the things and it's going to automatically tag as latest. So just you have to press enter and let's wait for a couple of minutes, or it's going to be pushed on the Docker hub. So as you can see that our image is successfully pushed. So let's verify. So let me open my Google Chrome and here it is, my dashboard. Okay, and let's verify. So as you can see that we have successfully pushed this image and we have this tag also latest. Okay. So we have done with all the things, and that's pretty much for this section. So in the next section, what we are going to do, we are going to directly run this image on the EC2 instance. So for that, see you guys in the next section.